was a phone call with my dad. I was calling him and complaining. And he just, one day, he goes, don't call me and complain. And I was like, whoa, yeah, I am that negative energy right now that I'm normally not.
No, that's not your vibe.
That's not me, and it was getting to me, you know, and I try to become more spiritual, you know, try to find God and read, you know, and listen to more positive people and not make excuses. Dude, you complain, you gotta live that complaint. You gotta live that excuse now. That's what you become, and
Guys, before we get started, just want to let you know, if you have any questions for us, please click the link below. You could ask us any questions via email, and we'll get back to you by the end of the episode. All right, guys, we're here for episode 30 on the Modern Man's Podcast. We got Coach Mike Kiley at a Brick Memorial. He's got 2 kids at home, still made time for us today. Full-time. You coach any other sports or just wrestling?
No, just wrestling.
Yeah, he's a wrestling coach right here in the Shore. In my mind, he's my favorite coach. I've been watching out afar. He went to TCNJ and wrestled, so we've kind of known about each other for a long time, stayed relatively connected through social media, but I see what he's doing over there. He's got great energy with the kids. He's got a great program going over there, and we're super thrilled to have him over here. Well, so thank you.
Thank you guys for having me. I love this podcast. You know, it's helped me through some times that you guys don't even know, and it's an honor to be on. So thanks for having me, man.
That's amazing, dude. We got Ev sitting in for Billy, which is amazing. Ev looking like a country singer today with the white shirt.
Billy's fighting. Billy's fighting. What, staff?
Yeah.
Staff, yeah.
Yeah. That was like, that's been going on for a while.
Yeah, since
now
like episode 15.
Back, you know, so Billy will be watching.
Yeah.
Billy will be watching. We weren't sure what to do. We were going to audible out and do 2 next week on Tuesday, and Ev jumped right in.
Yeah.
You know, so Ev knows the flow. Ev's been the man behind the camera. He was one of our guests here. Ev's about that same self-improvement life and going to sets, looking strong. Got that spiritual connection. That's all right. Got that spiritual connection going strong now. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Outpost.
Yeah.
Sick vibe over there.
Awesome. It's just like a high school weight room kind of vibe. Yeah. It's awesome.
And then they do like a free a content thing once
a
month
or
something that Dalton was doing. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah.
I love it over there.
It's good stuff.
And just like Frankie Egger told us, anything that you can find for yourself to be around people that are looking to get better, like find it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, totally.
So Mike, dude, we were talking a lot. Yeah, dude, we were talking a lot earlier, and Mike's our third wrestling coach guest, but we've had a lot of wrestling talks and a lot of different things. But I want to kind of get started on a little bit of start right away with your what do you call him, Pop or Grandpa?
Grandpa.
All right, so tell us a little bit about that and how things got started.
Yeah, Grandpa. He's the head coach of the family, right? He's the guy that really taught us the way in athletics and how not even how to win, right? Just how to go about it. How to sportsmanship.
Yeah.
Respect your opponent. Be tough. Right? We're not being, when I say respect your opponent, but you're there to beat them. Right. And we're there to win, and winning was important. And not even so much the outcome, how you approached it, how you went about your business leading into the event of whatever it was. It was baseball, football. It didn't matter. The guy coached it all. Yeah. There's actually an article about him. It said Cal Ripken don't got nothing on Al Kiley because he coached 3 seasons for over 30 years. Like he just kept coaching. He coached golf. He coached track. I mean, you could go anywhere with that guy. New York City. We would be on vacation in Florida, and he knew someone. You know, he's touched so many people, and I think that's really why I wanted to get into this profession.
I can imagine.
Just follow this guy around, and Big Al, someone's yelling his name everywhere you go.
And so he was a teacher too?
Yeah, he was a teacher and then an athletic director. So first he was at Cedar Ridge, Madison Central. They combined, and then he was the coach at Old Bridge. They combined to be Old Bridge. Yeah,
nice. So Dave must have got that same lunch pail mentality because we were talking about Dave before this.
Of course.
He's a grinder. So in the room, is Dave like the hands-on guy, or is he kind of running the practice? What does it look like with the two of you guys together?
Yeah, I'm more of right now, especially like you said, with the 2 kids, and I'm more of the manager, right? The administrator type of the program. I'm the face. Yeah. I deal with the parent phone calls, the scheduling and things like that. Where my brother, and I'm blessed, man, to have him. He is obsessed with this. He loves wrestling. It's his life. It's his passion. Yeah. And how lucky am I to have a guy that loves it, So I turn that room over to him, and he really builds the foundation in our room. He takes the first weeks and he builds that tough hand fight. Dave. Yeah. You know that mentality of no excuses, and we're here to train. And if you're not soaked, you're doing something wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure.
What's the age difference?
What?
What's the age difference?
He's 3 years older than me.
Oh, okay.
So I turn it over to him, and then like we talk about, you build that roots, the foundation, and then you got Coach Wilson, who's the man, Tyler, myself, and we all throw our Coach Alvarado was with us this year. Awesome. Coach Poling was with me for a while, all basically alumni, which is another cool thing. But then we then we branch out, right? Yeah. You build your leaves off that base. For sure. It's a cool thing.
Do you have a year on that shirt? I mean, it looks like it's been through it. What do we got? Oh, okay. It says 98, 99, back to back.
Actually,
that thing's been through it.
Oh, yeah. So this smells like it's got a little moth bud. I busted out for the podcast. But this was actually given to me by John Dearco this year. Awesome. At Southern. Yeah.
Oh, wow. So it has been through it.
Yeah, he's like, I pulled this out of the attic. I think you're going to need some Mustang magic, which I think we probably did need some Mustang magic.
Great, dude.
Yeah, awesome.
That is awesome stuff, man. Awesome. They're doing a great job over at the youth program over there, too.
Yeah.
And you were saying beforehand that the young kids practice right in there in the same high school room. And
that's huge.
Yeah.
That's huge.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a staple.
You know what's really cool is Ocone, and I know we will touch on Coach O, but he brought those banners into the room. They used to hang out in the
hallway,
up in the rafters or in the hallway. Right. So he brought those team banners into the room, and he created like a checklist, #1 team in the state. I
saw that.
It's all team oriented in there.
Yeah.
So when you're in there, you just every day you're just seeing the teams that have come through, and you don't want to be the team that's not leaving a legacy or a mark on the wall, you know?
I'm sure.
It's twofold because, like the high schoolers, they have to kind of perform and set the example for the younger kids, and then the younger kids, they obviously have something to aspire to. Mm-hmm. So it's twofold. I'm surprised more don't do it if they have the capacity to do it.
Yeah, no, I love that you brought up the team element too, because I've been saying for a while, wrestling gets so selfish. And as a coach, I hate that selfishness.
100%.
As long as they're keeping that team score, baby, it's a team sport.
It's a team sport until that district tournament.
Yeah, exactly.
Even
my favorite time at the high school was always the sectionals into possibilities of team states.
It's the best part of it.
Yeah.
And you know what? Unfortunately, not unfortunately, but I think that's what helps our program a little bit. We talk about those weeks.
Yeah.
Every single day.
Yep.
Right? It's not. It's a climb and it's a marathon, and it's about how you finish. And unfortunately, in this sport, your success is based on a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Couple weeks, and that's it.
Yeah, but I think that team element, planting those seeds of that team element in those, in not necessarily that there's selfish guys in your program, but in those tired moments that you're only thinking about AC or districts or regions, when you have that team element to keep you going and all the other guys are around, you can kind of find that next gear throughout practice.
Yeah, 100%. You're wrestling for other people too.
For sure.
And then when you do have that team success, I feel it feeds into the individual season too.
All day long.
Right? So it's important for the individual success at the end of the year too.
100%.
And it's something like what we preach a lot is you're in the Mustang Classic and you're in the semis and maybe you won by 6. But you could have won by 9.
Yeah, exactly.
And off that, man, I'm going to say you did a great job, but come end of February or come that team sectional run, we need you to go get that bonus point.
Need you to get that
right?
8.
So it's always a constant reminder of that team aspect down the stretch that, hey, we know we're in an individual tournament, but do it for yourself now because then it's going to be second nature when it's time to do it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I feel like growing up, I feel like Jackson Memorial, Brick Memorial, I feel like the matches were never any more than 5 points apart from each other either way.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so it's razor thin margins. Every point counts.
Don't even get me started on that whole separation of like A South. Right? That's what you guys are in, A South? That used to be like, as a wrestling fan, that used to be my favorite division.
It was like the Big Ten.
What was Frio like?
It was awesome.
A North?
Frio was A North.
Uh-huh.
So CBA was in the mix there, Howell, Mid-North. But that division, I think Southern was in there at one time, too.
It was us, Southern, Jackson. But Tom's River North, who
had tough teams.
East, South, and Brick. I mean, back when when I was in school, they were winning sectionals. They were tough. That was a brutal conference.
Yeah,
it was a brutal conference.
What is the status of like the Shore Conference right now? They're not doing the Shore Conference tournament anymore, or is there like a de facto
they do an individual tournament?
All right.
Yeah, so it's no more team concept. They went to an individual.
But with track wrestling, you could still see who's
they still
in the
crown a
mix.
champ.
You know,
Yeah.
you can
Crown
still
a
see
champ.
all weekend. You see what's going on.
Yeah.
No, you know what? They're still crowning the #1 team in the
Yeah.
shore.
Yeah.
You know, but it's not every team goes into it, and it's a tough thing. Right now, they just realigned all the divisions.
Did you hear about that?
No.
Welcome to
Total
the big
shake-up.
leagues, Brick Memorial.
Why, who do you got?
We're in the A division. It's Southern, CBA, St. John Vianney, Rumson, Brick Memorial.
Yep.
I'm excited,
It's a
man.
murder's rough.
You know, people will complain, but hey, you're gonna be battle tested. That's for sure.
I'm only backsided complaining because I like the way it used to be. Not even specific to Howell.
Mm-hmm.
Because Howell had CBA anyway, and CBA has found another gear, you know. And I have mad respect for their program. I was calling them like the Brick I was calling them the Bergen Catholic of the Shore.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Shore kind of needed that element anyway.
Yeah.
But I just feel like I liked how it used to be. I liked that bloodbath that you guys would have to go through to even get like that division title, because that still is important. And there was a time where some of the divisions, it would be kind of a cakewalk.
Of course.
Which now I think if you're not in A, I think it can be a cakewalk for one of those teams that might have been just shy. I'm pretty much talking about Howell right now.
I know,
Because like, they pretty much finished just under, you
Yeah.
know, and now they're in the mix there. No knock on those other teams,
No.
but like, oh man, but maybe that's a little bit more incentive. Or they're changing that on a yearly
It's
basis,
gonna
right?
be a yearly
Cool.
evaluated.
I'm about that. And then the
Yeah.
other side of that was I did kind of feel for someone like Rumson, who I'm not sure who they have coming back, but they had a great year this year. No knock on their program, but that wasn't, you know, history wasn't there.
So
you
what
know?
it actually will take into consideration the formula they use, what they have coming back. So
Okay.
a
Nice.
part
All right,
of
good.
that formula, how they came up with the divisions,
I
is
like
based on region qualifiers coming back, state qualifiers. So
Okay.
it does take a concept of that
Okay.
into consideration.
Now, are you involved with any type of those conversations that go to the state and everybody? Like, are you there yet?
I'm in an A South rep, so I'm in on some
Okay.
of the meetings, but
Okay.
or it's not A South anymore, I
Right,
guess.
right.
But I used to be an A South rep
Right.
when it was the division, but
Okay.
they send out emails, you vote, but
Right.
really once it gets, you know, there's a committee within the NJSIA that's a governing body that's making those final says.
Now,
decisions.
have you been New Jersey State Coach of the Year like that?
I haven't.
Okay,
I
you haven't.
I haven't.
So that
no.
1 year, what did you have? Like
I won-
5 champs or something? that
Oh
one
yeah,
year?
the 1 year
Something stupid?
we won 4 state titles, 4
Four
individual titles.
4 individual
Yeah,
titles.
That was unbelievable, man. I
That's-
mean, what a blessing to coach these kids. You know,
That's amazing.
yeah.
Who was that?
Unbelievable. We
Anthony, Evan, Harvey.
No, that was before Harvey. It went. It was actually at Phillipsburg that year
Okay.
because it was
That
a
was like the
COVID
COVID
year.
year.
Oh, yeah.
So it went, which
Evan.
I could talk about that for a minute. Like it allowed me because you knew the crop you had. You had those 4 kids with Zuba. It was Zuba
Zuba.
at heavyweight.
Yeah.
It was Vincent, Anthony, and Evan.
Uh-huh.
But and then Nick Torrey, you know, he was round to 12 right there. But those 4, you had the opportunity to create like a mini fight camp, I almost was calling it.
Yeah.
Because you had an 8-week season.
Yeah.
And you knew that the team stuff wasn't really in the mix.
Yeah.
Right.
Because there wasn't a sectional run. There wasn't a group run. So I basically was like, guys, you're in a fight camp right now.
I love that.
Right?
I just
Like-
got the chill.
I did too. I did too a little bit. You really are. Like,
Yeah.
guys,
It's
you're
awesome.
going to be in this corner, and we are training for you know what.
Yeah.
We're winning state
Can we talk a
titles.
little bit about Evan, Anthony, and Vinny, and just how they came up together, and then now what they're doing, you know, where they're at now? I mean,
Well, I will say this. I'm very happy that they're getting back together because those kids have a great relationship with all 3. The way the way they just mingle with each other, joke with each other, test each other, push each other. It's a really, really cool thing as an adult to watch because it's mature.
yeah.
Nice.
It's a mature. It's a competition, but it's a loving competition. They want to make each other better, and to find that amongst your best friends, and to all of you to be that high level is a very special thing.
Yeah.
And I was blessed to be a part of it.
Yeah. Amazing.
Sure.
Yeah, now at Pitt, you know, that's going to
Yeah,
be a
it's
1,
so
2, 3
sick.
punch.
So
It's gonna
sick.
be
Once
awesome.
I saw he was entering the transfer portal, I was like, it's got to be.
Yeah.
It's got to be.
He was excited, you know, they're all excited, and it gives that program some juice, man.
sure.
Yeah,
you know,
man.
how can it not? Vincent
sure.
had a great year, and Anthony, they're very. You know, Anthony's the man, and
Yeah.
Evan's a hammer. So
Yeah.
it's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah.
Now, weight class wise, is it going to be a 1, 2, 3 punch, or are they,
Looks
or
like
some
it.
of them around the same weight? Wow. So
one.
who's going 41?
So
who's the bigger of the group?
Anthony.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Looks
Yeah.
like Evan will be at 25. Vincent staying at 33. And
Nice. He was a little lightning bolt this year, Vincent,
Vincent
out there,
had some
man.
great
He had
wins,
some great
man.
stuff going down.
And you know what? Credit to Vincent. You know, it's hard to come back off of 2 years not competing in that level, and then to get thrown it. Here's another. He had the toughest schedule out of any 33 pounder in the country.
That's awesome.
So he got thrown right to the fire, and
Good.
credit to him, man.
That's where you want to be
He
anyway.
did it. He
Yeah.
had a good year for himself, and I'm excited.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Follows next year.
That's amazing.
Such a good family. Just such a salt of the earth family
Well,
too.
yeah, then I was going to ask a little bit about Vinnie Santiniello.
Yeah.
I mean, Vinnie was my coach at Sure Thing. We know what great things he's doing and what great things he did at Brick Memorial. So how's the relationship with Vin been like over the years? And then like I guess my question, the question I'm really looking for is, how was the dynamic of Vinnie the dad when you were the head coach?
So, Vinny, he made my program so much better, man.
I can imagine.
Right? So I just want to throw that out there first. To
course.
have a family like that come in is just a blessing. It is. So Vinny as the dad he's a great supporter of those kids.
Yeah.
You know what's the best about Vin? He wants the team to win.
See?
Take
notes,
How
parents.
lucky is that, right?
Yeah.
How lucky to have a guy like that, because it kept a lot of parents in check.
I'm sure.
If he's supporting this program the way he was and the family was, how can I not? Because I'm not running Sure Thing, right?
100%.
Yeah.
So it allowed that he supported us and really trusted us. It allowed a lot of other things to take care of itself because of who he was. Now, with that being said, like, he wanted his kids' team to win. I spent a lot of hours on the phone with Vinny talking about matchups.
Talking about everybody else.
Everybody else, hey, this guy needs to get better. Work on this guy. Work in this area because this guy's good at this, right? So for his kids' team to win. So to have that is it wasn't a me, and my kid type of deal.
That's amazing because sometimes you could have the roster and not necessarily have that vibe. Or
Best
maybe
things crumble from within.
yeah.
man.
Or maybe you have some selfish parents and whatnot that aren't living that life, and you could have had a different turnout.
100%. Greatest empires fold from within.
Yeah,
you're
The
absolutely
drama
right.
within them, and I think that's an important thing as a coach to manage.
So is that your job these days?
Yeah.
You kind of like drama coordinator.
I keep that pulse on the
Do you guys have like Team Snap or any type of communication that everyone could chime in?
There's a Google Classroom.
Google
that you
Classroom.
can post on.
Is that just with the kids or are the
That's
parents
just-
involved too?
The parents can have access, not all do, but they are on there.
How are the parents finding you? DMs, texts, calls, all of it?
I got an open line of communication with
Yeah.
my cell phone. Now it's changed a little bit with the kids.
Right.
Right. I want to be that dad that's present. I try to put it down. Right.
can
At
imagine.
7:00, I'm not answering. But that's where things have changed a little bit, and I got to manage that. Right.
can
Because I
imagine.
used to be available at 7.
I
And
can imagine.
so that's something that's changed a little bit. But hey, I'll call you back at 8.
That's it.
I'll call you back at 8 in the morning, and it's gonna take place the next day. We're gonna get it done.
That's it. And everything can wait. And I was kind of not selfishly asking that, but I was the head coach of the Predator program. It was a short-lived thing. And I was trying to manage a family, full-time job, and wrestling. And I felt like every question at every hour needed an instant response. And I flat burnt out. Like I was just tapped. Like I didn't want anyone to hit me up. Like just give me like 10 minutes. Just everybody stop.
Can I breathe?
You know, and I want to be like, guys, I got a family. It's 11:30 at night. What are we talking about wrestle-offs for?
Exactly.
Your kid's number 4 on the lineup anyway. What are we
Yeah.
doing here? We'll do a wrestle-off tomorrow at practice.
Right.
Or just like, I don't know, get me a practice, whatever it may be. So like I was kind of asking that, like how you've been managing all that. Because I know how much it is. I know it's a lot. And I know that role as a head coach is a lot.
And a lot of the stuff, the frustrating ones are the ones that just Google the address.
Right.
Right. You have
Yeah,
an address. You know the name of the school.
Just
Just
you
type
need
it
a
in.
generic copy and paste, Google it.
Come on.
Start giving that
right. There's
response.
some things that
Right.
I tell the kids I'm not responding anymore.
Good call.
Because you'll find if you do the work, it's out there. I post everything.
There you go.
Right? So if you don't get a response from me, it's because you need to go search somewhere else and find that information.
No,
Because
you're right.
I
You
already
do
put
post
it out
everything.
there.
Yeah.
Right? And now you're just being lazy.
Yeah.
And now taking time away from me,
No, that's great. I mean, like, as a wrestling fan, I like to see what's going on with your program, and it's always there.
It's
throughout the
accessible.
season, hey, we're going to be here.
accessible.
We just did this. And even if you guys take an L, like, even like the words that you have in there aren't like, well, we fucking lost yesterday. It's like, no, hey, we lost, hard fought match, getting right back to work today.
What are you supposed to do,
know?
right? And
I know.
Pete, but back to what we were talking about, I'm thinking about February.
That's it.
And there were some good things, and now there's some things that if you're not learning and adapting your practice each week to based on what just occurred to make them better for that final run,
There you go. I love that.
how are you're not working towards the goal?
That's awesome. That's awesome. You got any questions or anything, Ev? I got so many things on my mind for him.
No, not much. I mean, that just reminds me, because I grew up wrestling and I played lacrosse, but like one thing that I've noticed, like Duke was always my team for lacrosse, and one thing that's pretty consistent with them is in the beginning of every year, they'll lose to like Air Force or something. They'll be ranked number 1 and lose to Air Force. They'll, have a close game with like High Point or something, but they always peak in May and Memorial Day when national championships are.
Yeah.
And it's the long game. It's totally the long game. So yeah, just having that February is the finish line.
Yeah.
Peak then.
I feel like the college football playoff eliminated that component for college football. Like, you can't take September L's and expect to make the playoffs.
Yeah, right.
It's like, well, maybe you can have one L and maybe you're basically
go on a
right
run,
there.
though.
Then you better go on a run.
Yeah.
It almost forces that perfection, or maybe even a lesser schedule.
Yeah, right.
That, somebody else going through that meat grinder, they take a few L's. That team could be more ready
for
than the team that put up a goose egg all year.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a great point, dude.
Did you play other sports growing up? Football?
Nice. What position?
Running back, linebacker, punter. It was a big
Did you play in high school?
I did, yeah. I played just freshman through junior year. I didn't play senior year.
You graduated
09.
09. Oh, see, like, you're that much younger than me. There was this kid, Graham. We played against Pitt Memorial. Yeah. They beat Freehold Township 14-12.
Texans.
Yeah, maybe I'm still holding on to my varsity jacket sometimes, but I still remember those days. Yeah, dude, he was a monster wide receiver.
In the NFL too, man. Yeah, I remember turning on Sports Center and seeing, and it would be Garrett.
Sick.
Yeah, it was awesome.
How do you feel about like multi-sport athletes? Do you encourage wrestlers to, play other sports, whatever that may be?
Of course.
Cross country or track,
man.
whatever.
Compete. Get better at competing and being in those types of situations. But with that being said, you have to, if you want to have success, you have to make this important to you even during those months.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah. That's where
So
I feel
I'm
like
balancing act.
I feel like wrestling is unique in that regard, where like you've got to be wrestling year round, one way or another.
Sport forces your hand.
Yeah, with something like lacrosse, it's like, all right, well, you can draw a lot of inspiration from basketball, from soccer. You can swim and get your lung capacity up, and then you could show out in a couple showcases, in the summer and get recruited. Right. But wrestling, like, guys are so good now. I mean, we see it at the high school level with guys who are competing in college opens. You got the Bo Bassett's and Jax Forests who are just animals. Yeah. And it's like, they're not playing soccer. They're not, they're wrestling 365.
Yeah, it really is interesting these days. It really, truly is, because I was almost thinking with somebody like Bo Bassett, it's like sometimes the conversation might be, hey, should I just go full on homeschool and just get more reps in and like not even have to sit in school all day?
Yeah, right.
So I could be the best wrestler possible. Right. Like, that wasn't really talked about much when we were younger.
It wasn't a thing. I mean, gray shirting, like holding back in middle school is a common. That's just, you're just keeping up now. It's not even an advantage anymore.
I know.
Yeah.
It's what you do.
Yeah, it's what you do.
It's crazy. It's changed a lot.
I was pretty much adamant against the gray shirt for a long time, but now it's so normal that I just wonder how I'm going to be feeling. The one thing that will hold me back as a parent, no pun intended with the hold back, but what will hold me back as a parent is like all my son's buddies. Mm-hmm. Like, you're in 8th grade, you're supposed to go to freshman year, now you're with the Sevies. You're with the Sevs. He's got all these football bros. Yep. They play 9U.
Yeah.
So that component was really, because it was always a social thing with me, because looking back at school, even high school, like I would look forward to lunch, of course, gym.
Yep.
Passing time.
Yeah, like whatever it may be. It wasn't necessarily who was like in your classes. It was more like, all right, so I don't know. That's the one component. But I think that these kids that I've coached that are homeschool, they're not socially awkward kids.
No, not at all.
They're doing just fine. They're doing great. You know?
Totally.
And I think that there's a big maturity. You can physically mature. Like I didn't really physically mature till I was really like a freshman in college.
Well, that's what I was going to comment on is the maturity.
Even mentally.
If you can mature over that year, it's a big thing.
100%.
It is. Mentally and physically. Especially for those kids that are coming in that are 90 pounds.
I know.
You still have those kids. Yeah, like that. You're not going to have a lot of success giving up 15 pounds, especially when you weigh 90.
Yeah,
it's almost it's like 30% of your body weight.
I
mean, you know, so it's a tough thing, and that's where I actually do support it. Like, if it makes sense to hold a kid back for that maturity time, do it.
Yeah, it's easy to be a Monday morning quarterback, but I was that kid that was literally walking around the building 90 pounds. I wrestled 103. So I'd be drinking protein shakes before and everything, trying to like gain weight. I think I got up to like 93 by the end of the year. But there was this kid from Brick Township, Vinnie Santiniello.
Sure.
Dude, freaking grown-ass man, dude. I'm looking at his legs and waist. He's got leg hair. All I wanted was leg hair and armpit hair at that time. I'm like, oh, man, when am I going to hit puberty, dude? This kid, Vinnie Santiniello wraps me up, power halfing me, freaking crying on the mat. But it was like, yeah, dude, now that I'm older, I'm like, all right, that would have been cool, walking around high school, 19 years old.
That's right.
You know, strong. But, so we were kind of talking about your grandpa already. I haven't run into your dad too much lately, but I used to see him at Wawa all the time getting coffee. And he always had such great vibes and energy with me, and I, like, barely know him. Like, I've never, like, hung out at your house.
Yeah.
But the energy and, like, the welcomingness that he would give me was almost like me, you, and Dave were like broing out on the weekends. Like that's the vibe. Is that his vibe, or is that like, did he kind of gain some respect for me watching me coach or something, or is that just who he is?
My dad is just, that's who he is.
I love it.
He's the man.
I love it.
Oh, he's the man. I'm so lucky to have him.
That's incredible.
And
now, your grandpa you were talking about, is that his dad?
That's his dad,
okay,
yeah.
Beautiful.
And, you know, he's my coach.
Yeah.
I call him with everything.
That's awesome.
Is your grandpa still around?
No.
Okay.
No, I passed 2 years ago. 2 years ago, 2.5. He passed and my daughter came. So it was, it was within like 20 days. It was.
Wow.
So.
It's wild how things in life will work out like that, where it's like something that like terrible and devastating happened, and then there's something joyful.
Yeah.
And it's almost at the point where that joyful moment happens. You almost have like a not envy, but it's like, I wish he was here. Like I really couldn't have been. You couldn't have been born like. I couldn't have had a baby a few more recent than that. Like,
he met her first.
Yeah.
You know. So it's, but that was tough. You know, because he was my guy.
I'm sure. I'm sure. Well, hey, man, he's looking down, and now, you know, we have one of these lines that we say at the wrestling club that we're planting seeds for shade that we're never going to be able to enjoy. You know,
that's
so
right,
he
man.
planted those seeds, man.
Yep.
He's looking down, he's watching, he's smiling, he's at all those dual meets,
He's with us. He's 100%. With us out there.
100%.
I could feel it.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's amazing. That's amazing. I lost my cousin, and he was super young. He was only about 28, and I've been doing like these daily 4-minute like gratitude prayer plunges twice a day, and I didn't lose this like connection with him, but I brought him back into the mix on the daily. And one of the things I was saying this morning is like, I know that you're looking down smiling. Like, I know that you were gone too early, but like, I feel you with me.
Still here.
I feel you with
proud.
me.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's
100%.
Awesome, you could feel that energy for sure.
Yeah, for sure. And my cousin just so happened to be younger than me, and he asked me to be a sponsor for his confirmation. You know, I took him to a Yankee game, and he was younger than me. I was drinking at the game. I said, hey, don't tell your parents, you know. But I ran into my aunt at ShopRite, and then she ended up putting up a post recently, and she said that she wants to, like, talk about Brendan, my cousin. So we got into talking a little bit, and she said to me, she's like, you were his biggest role model. Like, he looked up to you, like, ever since you guys were little kids. And I almost feel like I had so many little cousins that like being a dad just became natural, because I was used to playing with kids all the time. Like I was the older cousin, man. Like I was around it. Right. Where I think some dads, like one of my friends held Mason when Mason was a baby. That was the first baby he ever held in his life. You know, he's got 3 kids now, but Mason was the first baby he ever held. I'm holding babies in every family photo. You know, I only have one sibling, my sister, but the cousins both of my parents are one of 8. So we had freaking cousins everywhere.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so there's just cousins everywhere. My sister and I and my cousin Jessica are like the oldest of the crew. So we talked about your dad a little bit. Was Dan Acone the head coach with you? Because I know he's at Beach. What was the timeline there? He was your guy?
I had Albanese for 1 year, my freshman year, and then Dan came my sophomore year.
Okay.
Yeah, he took over, and he took that thing to new levels, man.
I'm sure.
Yeah, he was, how you describe, he was a leader of men.
Yeah.
He could lead. And he still does to this day, at the Beach, and everything he does, people follow him. And the other thing Dan does, he rises to the top of everything he does.
That's great.
He's the head, president of the Coaches Association, Coach of the Year, group championships. And he does that. Now he's the principal, right? So vice principal, now he's the principal. He climbs.
Yes.
Gets his doctorates. And he's someone that wins.
That's amazing.
He wins. He's a winner.
Amazing.
Yeah.
You're kind of reminded me a little bit of Bob Henning. He's the principal at Middle School South. He was my wrestling coach at Middle School North back in the day. And then he did the same thing. He got the doctorate. He's just a natural leader. Now he's a freaking ref, dude. Like my wife works in the building. Right? Yeah,
Nick?
Adam.
Oh, okay.
Adam's freaking beast mode.
Henning, bald ref?
Yeah, bald ref, dude. I have so much respect for him as an official.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because I always say, have you ever reffed a match? Like, have you ever? No. Okay. One time I had to jump in. Yeah. I get too involved with what's happening, like the action. That like I would be a terrible ref. Mm-hmm. And like if one fan talks shit about me during the match, like I'm rattled. Like dude, he just stays. Yeah. He stays calm, and I like that he lets them wrestle through positions. Like because you could always just go to your back. Like if it hurts that bad and it's legal,
go.
You could roll over. This ain't MMA. Even MMA, you could tap out.
Yeah.
You could tap out, dude. He won't blow it dead, dude. You could be screaming my shoulder, and he's like, "Yeah, that's legal.
I'm choking. No, you're
Still
talking.
Legal. You're talking. You're good. 100%.
I've seen a change in the way that because my dad's a ref. He wrestled at Palisades Park. He wrestled with like Screwy Louie, who was there, and every time
he's a staple in the community.
Dude, like nationally, he was in Foxcatcher.
Yeah, yes.
He every time he sees my dad, hey, Mr. Farrar, Louie's like a couple years older than him. Yeah. But I've noticed since my dad started reffing that there's a little bit of a difference in the way that he just watches regular matches. Like he's way more kind of intellectual about it and puts everything under a microscope, and he's became like a student of the game again. I'm sure. And I think he found like a new respect for it. But he was the same way where he was, he was the one like yelling in the bleachers. He got ran out of, I think he got ran out of like not Brickmore. It was one of the middle schools with one of my older brother wrestling in middle school, and I don't even think that my brother was actually wrestling.
Right,
and they were just watching, and he was chirping, and the parents ran him out. It's like, damn. But he was just the kind of guy who I didn't know if he would like really take to reffing that well because of. He might get a little bit defensive and
fired up nature.
But they teach you to just be totally objective. You're just ref it.
I give those
ref it straight up.
Credit.
I wouldn't want to do it.
I know. How do you treat the refs?
I've matured.
Yeah,
I still have my moments. Yeah. I still have my moments, but
I'm sure.
But I don't want to be that guy because it doesn't come back to you.
It's not going to help your kids.
It doesn't reciprocate.
Help your program.
No.
Yeah.
You walk into a gym. I'm not this coach, and he's already got that mindset.
Before you know it.
So you got to play a game. Like, hey, when he works up, instead of screaming, he's stalling. Manipulated. I try to just. But then I've blown my lid this year.
I'm sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So
I'm not saying goes the wrong way. You're so passionate.
I want that kid to, or it's in regions. I had a bad one in regions because I felt, he got screwed, and I knew that was the match that to fall on the other side of the bracket. He would have went to states if he. And,
stakes are high.
And the pressure. Yeah. So I did blow my lid a little bit, but I don't want to do that because I know their job's hard.
Yeah. 100%.
And I know we need them.
I don't
to make like $75 a match.
Yes, they're getting abused. They're not getting paid.
This is his retirement.
And you're
gig.
right, though. We do need them. What's the other side of it? You got
a big shortage.
One coach on one side, one coach on the other side, calling out who's going to win,
and
calling points out.
So you need to. We need them, and it's not an easy thing. And now I'm hearing we're changing the rules even more. Their job's going to get harder with the. I heard it's going to be 3-point takedowns.
Really?
It's not official, but I heard it's coming to where you're wrestling with a pinky in. And
how do you feel about that? Like putting 3-point takedown in high school?
I like it.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
We just got to get used to calling 3 out. Instead.
Yeah.
Nah.
I was at a Rutgers match this year, and it must have been the first match. And I planted the seed in my mind to say 3. So like I was already ahead of the game. Like I prepped for it the whole way up. Yeah, I was training the whole way up. But you're so right on that because the whole crowd was yelling too.
It's a staple in the sport too.
I know.
It's going to be a tough transition, man.
Mm-hmm.
But what I do like about it is you get a takedown, you cut them, and now you're up 2 points. Because if you got a takedown, and then that period starts to end, there's 30 seconds left, and you guys are back on your feet, it's 2-1, he gets a takedown, he's winning.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, I got a takedown.
Right.
I just let you up.
Right.
And now he's up.
That whole cutting philosophy, you're pretty much one reversal away. The way it is with 2, you're one reversal away from either being tied or losing.
That's what I'm
And
saying.
you
just
tail
got
off.
the takedown.
Yeah.
So I do like it in that aspect that
Me too.
You're earning what you're earning it. So now even if you let him up, he takes you down, to end the period, you're tied.
Yeah.
You guys both did the same thing.
Yeah.
You got to take
No,
down
I
and
like
escape.
that.
I wonder if they're going to implement push-outs soon in college. I've been hearing a lot of buzz about that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That would be cool too.
Yeah.
Just listen,
I feel
whatever
like- I
they're
feel
going
like
to add in, whatever they're going to add in, we're always going to do to adapt to it.
Yeah. I can see that getting abused.
Oh, I'm
a push
sure.
out, you know?
Straight sumo now.
Sumo.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's...
Well, that's even subjective now because if you push a guy out directly, they're supposed to post and turn or else it's stalling.
Right.
Which is I've seen guys just go here, all right, when really he's back straight out.
Yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
But then, sometimes it gets thrown up. So it's a hard thing to be consistent on, especially from ref to ref.
It definitely is.
So you have to post and circle. So at least you can say, hey, I was moving.
Exactly. Or at least make it look like you're doing
Play
the
the
right
game,
move,
man.
man.
Play
At
the
least you
game.
know. Play the game. That's something Coach Morris used to say all the time. Coach Morris used to tell us play the game, even when it came to school and your grades. Like, hey, play the game. Show up in the front row. Raise your hand. Yep. Be kind to the teacher. Do your homework. Like, it's not rocket science. I mean, I made it seem like it was rocket science when I almost failed out, but I wasn't showing up. I wasn't doing my homework. I was in the back row.
Opposite of everything.
Doing the opposite.
Not playing the game.
It's like, playing the game is not ass kissing. You're basically just doing the right thing.
That's right.
And you're showing up
they
early.
Get you through.
That's
they
it.
don't want you
They
to
don't
fail.
want
But
to.
if you're not showing effort, then they probably want you to fail.
100%. So we were talking 3-point takedowns. I like it overall. I love it for the sport overall. I don't necessarily love it for the Jersey kids that are now going to college with riding time. Well, they're going to college with a 3-point takedown. But Jersey has gotten very neutral specific. Pennsylvania always dominates people on top. Like, I almost wish... I don't know. What do they do? 4 backs in college? Maybe we need
adopting that too.
So
So
now you
what
bring
I heard-
that in. Now we're talking.
Now your emphasis on top too because you score points there. You start spacing people.
You talk about team points. You're basically an escape away from a major if you go feet to back.
Feet to back, you're up 7.
Yeah.
And that on the flip side, Pete, it also hurts you because it's going to be tough to squeeze those points. When you're against a hammer, he's teching you in a minute. Like a Harvey Luddington is going to tech people. He takes you down.
But is that bad overall? Is it worse to get teched in the first period or to get your tail kicked in for 3 periods? Like,
True.
You're almost getting that bottom guy off the mat. Like, hey, dude, we knew you were
that
outclassed.
is a good point, too.
We knew you were outclassed, man.
Hey, now
let's get this over with.
He didn't even realize he just got 4
Yeah,
backs. You got
that's
tech.
it.
Get off.
Yeah.
That's a
You're
valid
out,
point
dude.
too. I didn't even think of it that way. Like they're going to put up points quick, so you are saving that pinpoint.
Yeah, you're still saving the pinpoint.
True.
You pat that kid on the back, man.
job,
Hey,
man.
you didn't go the whole
Those
way.
majors are going to be tough, but that's a valid point.
I was also thinking about it in the lens of the one kid that gets tossed and fights off his back. So it's one thing to put your skates on when you're up 5-0, but now you're up 7-0. The one kid that got tossed, he's got his motor running. You're up 7-0, dude. You're kind of just you're borderline stalling out here at that point. But maybe the incentive to get the major still in the back on your team. That's not all teams' philosophy overall, especially if we're talking the selfish nature of wrestling.
Yes.
That's not necessarily going to fit.
And the best is Pete when like the whole squad starts getting on, like get that major, and then when you do get it, everybody's pumped.
You're so right.
Yeah.
My favorite days of coaching high school was the one year that Howell won overall groups was actually my birthday, and I was telling the kids all I want for my birthday is a gold trophy.
What year was that?
That must have been 2016.
Okay.
2016, 2017, one of those years. I think my birthday was the 2017 year. It was a back-to-back situation. And but it was such a team-based atmosphere. In my biggest gripe in the sport, like I said before, is the selfish nature, and that team was just all about it. But perseverance, prior to those 2 years, the team lost to Southern the year before. So they felt the other side of it. They lost, I think it was either the overall group. I think it was the overall group they lost. And then they had an L during the year too. That's why during the regular season, L's are good. They lost 100 in Central during the regular season. Now it's all about the team.
Yeah.
Now you're going to make those sacrifices that maybe you didn't that first day.
Building off like the team aspect, when you're in the room, are you scrapping? Are you monitoring? Because I think that if you're scrapping, like that makes it way easier for the kids to run through a brick wall for you. Like I know that like Goody was always on the mat. He was always,
sure.
and he still is.
Yeah.
He's still getting after it.
Yeah.
But yeah, you are.
This year was a little limited because of the hernia. I just had surgery like a week or two ago. So that thing was popping out pretty bad. So it was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, we're all on the mat.
Uh-huh.
My whole staff really is.
So did you hold out on? You obviously held out on surgery for the season.
Yeah, my wife is actually a surgical nurse.
Okay.
So
she was probably in your grill, dude.
So yeah, I wanted to get it done before wrestling, kind of let it linger, and then she didn't even want to talk to me about it anymore. I couldn't even bring up that it was uncomfortable. She's like, you know what I said, right? So didn't even exist for a while.
I can imagine you freaking limping discreetly trying to
pushing it back in, like. But so I didn't really wrestle as much this year, but I'm always.
But you said the whole staff is all hands on deck.
Yeah, man.
Because one thing that I never liked as a wrestler and as a coach is the guy with the foot on the wall.
Yeah.
Nobody likes the wallflower, dude. What do you call the
man.
wallflower? It's in Miami. Used to drop us
over
off
there.
Yeah.
Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that.
It brings
dude.
the energy down in the room.
It sure does.
That's a high energy place. We're
Yeah.
working towards a high level goal.
You can see it.
And you should be working when you walk in that room.
Yeah.
100%.
Everybody should be working.
That's so funny you said wallflower. My aunt used to drop us off at teen night down in LBI. We'd go down there, me and my cousin are the same age. So she would literally drop us off, and as the doors would open, she'd say, don't be a wallflower. So me and my cousin would stand against the wall for a second, look at each other, like, oh, we gotta get out there, man. We gotta get out on the dance floor.
Get out there
That's
and
great.
Oh, but what? Yeah, I left it sitting, and then Kate said they actually said to her, he had that for a while because there was like almost like cobweb types of things around. They had to cut it out because it started to just the body does what the body does, you know.
Now, was that a wrestling thing or lifting thing? Or how do you think you did it? Yeah.
Lift and pop through. I actually had another one up here too. I had a one. No, I had one done like 6 years ago, and then this one. So.
Wait, was she in the OR when you were getting it done?
They wouldn't allow her in. The surgeon didn't mind, but the hospital policy. I want her in because what better person to look over me, you know? During those
hospital policy, man. It makes sense. It makes sense. God forbid you try to sue. Your wife is in there. Everybody's got to cover their own tail.
When they were in on it.
Oh my God, that would have been some story.
Speaking of wallflowers, like something I just watched the other day. It's not sitting up against the wall, but did you ever see the video of Molinaro from like when he was like a freshman or sophomore at Penn State? And it's him working out, and like he's, I don't know, deadlifting like 525 or something, screaming. I just watched it the other night though, and he's doing wall sits, and he's just got like 5 40-pound plates right on his lap, and he's up there for like 2 minutes or something. I was like,
it's cool because I've actually gotten close with Frankie over the past year because of Arizona State.
I'm sure.
For Harvey.
Yeah.
You know,
that's awesome.
What an awesome guy, man.
I can imagine.
Yeah.
What a high level, just makes you better just talking to him.
Yeah,
you know
who was talking about him on the phone recently? Seidenberg. Seidenberg told me a whole story how they had beef. They pretty much came up around like Hazlitt, Middletown, were in close proximity. So they had some beef. They had some beef in high school. There was a lot of chippiness. There was like maybe some almost fights that broke out in years past and whatnot. And now that Seidenberg's been on this mental health journey for himself, and he's got kind of like this list of people that he like feels obligated to like reach out to. And Molinaro was like one of those guys.
Really?
And he wasn't sure I was going to play out. And Molinaro, being, you know, the stud that he is, he had nothing but like forgiving energy. And he's like, I've been watching your journey, man. You've been doing amazing, dude. I'm so proud of you. So it's like, I was trying to think when I heard Molinaro's name last.
He's a God-fearing man.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, what a stud. And then also Zeke Jones. I got to talk to him a little bit. I mean, dude,
They're doing a lot of cool things out
Yeah,
there.
and talk about energy. They seem like a lightning bolt of energy out there at Arizona State.
And just normal.
Yeah.
Like down to earth. They came down when Harvey won his title. They both were there.
Nice.
And just normalcy. And but you know they're high level. Right?
Yeah.
Like I'm not, but just you could talk to them. And pick their brain and feel comfortable.
But they came to States?
Yeah, both.
What's the wait, what? Yeah, so they were still in season.
The timeline.
Well,
Yeah.
think about how important Harvey is.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
I mean,
that
at that time,
shows that they care about him and want him to know they care about him.
Yeah. At that
Still a
time,
couple
it
weeks
might
left.
be they might have like the last dual meet might have just happened.
Yeah.
It might have been a break before conferences.
Yeah, wow.
You know, whatever it may be.
Yeah.
But you're right.
But both were there, right?
Yeah,
that's
That's
pretty
incredible.
awesome.
That's incredible.
And Zeke Jones turns to, we were taking pictures with the bracket, and he turns to like Miss Luddington. He goes, "This is the first of many pictures with brackets, Miss Luddington."
There you go.
Yeah, it was
That's
awesome.
amazing.
Yeah.
Harvey wrestled what this year? Well, wait,
Also 190.
we'll go 84.
We'll see. Yeah, he's a big, thick kid. There's
Yeah.
still room to
Yeah.
grow. So
sure.
you got to see where he plays out.
Yeah.
I could see him being a 97 pounder.
Nice.
I can.
Nice.
Yeah, I could see him.
I would
just
like that.
filling out and being thick, but
For
Yeah.
sure.
we'll see what happens.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So my teammate Crespo at JWU
his
has been his boy, and it's been amazing to see what Crespo's doing up there. He spent a lot of time at Apex, probably learned a lot up there, and now he's creating his own little heavyweight U going on up there, and it seems like they're really banging in the room, and him and Harvey seem to have a really good, strong connection and relationship.
He's actually, when you're in the finals, you could have people sit
Yeah.
behind, and Crespo he
Yes.
sat with his dad. So
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
What drew him to ASU? Sorry.
No, you're
what
fine.
drew him? So he actually, it's the first visit he took.
Yeah.
He went out there. Frankie, was in our room, trying to, whenever he was home, he would run an open mat for us.
Nice.
So there was already that connection there. Got him out to Arizona, and Harvey's from Nevada.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
he loves that weather. He didn't. Well, I was nervous he wasn't
Yeah.
going to come home.
I'm sure.
Yeah.
And he committed that weekend.
I didn't
Really?
think about
Who
the
else?
proximity from Nevada.
Yeah, true.
So
I
he
forgot
felt
about that.
like his dad, because I was like, wow, he committed already, right? Like that was one trip. He, how many people want him? I'm on the first day that you could be recruited. He didn't even go to school because he had a
Yeah.
Blowing
schedule
him up.
until 9 at night. I mean, it was like 60 teams
Yeah.
where wanted to get in
Well,
touch with him.
that does.
So to commit, I'm sorry, but
Yeah.
Yeah.
he felt it.
Felt it.
He felt
Yeah.
it, and hey, that's the realest thing.
He's in
you
the
can-
right spot.
I know a lot of kids who that means a lot. The first coach to reach out to them, that means a lot. Did Cornell call Knox first, maybe? And I think maybe he said like that really meant a lot. But
I'm sure.
I've heard of a bunch of kids like
He was
that
another
first
guy
call.
that had a whole list getting blown up the whole day too. Yeah,
Of course.
yeah,
yeah.
No,
That's
yeah.
cool.
You're
Good for
right
him.
about that, Ev. I think they got him literally on like the first minute that it opened or first second. I think that was the first call to come in.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's amazing. So we spoke about a lot of these male figures that have been in your life throughout high school, different things. You were under ice, right?
Yeah.
What have you learned as a coach, or what did he teach you as an athlete that you're kind of still implementing today, or were able to implement back in those TCNJ days?
Yeah, Ice. Oh man, what
Legend.
a legend, dude.
Yeah.
What a legend. Ice. He one thing about Ice is he included everybody. Everybody wanted TCNJ Wrestling to win on that campus because he talked to everybody. The
Nice.
janitor, you could walk in and the janitor would have a nice TCNJ wrestling
Yeah.
pullover. It wasn't a football one, right? Because Ice knew how to take care of people and make people support him.
Wow.
And then they'll take their shirt off their back for him.
I just
Because
got the chills again
I did
thinking
too,
about that.
Pete.
Yeah.
We're getting them together.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
no, the legend of that man is unreal because of how many people he included in on it.
That's
On what he was
amazing.
doing there. It
Yeah.
was really cool to watch him run everything.
That's
just
awesome.
like beep, beep, beep. It was just second nature. And I heard when he was done, it like when he was passing over to Coach Glanning, basically he didn't really have much because it was him.
He didn't have the binder, the blueprint.
It was him.
Just the
That's
vibe.
Ice.
And,
That's
yeah.
who he did it from. It was just very pure. That's what he was meant to do.
That's a tough torch to hand to somebody
brutal.
else. You can't just hand that stuff off. I mean, that was within him to have. That was his human nature before he was the head coach at TCNJ. I mean, making other people feel good. And we were talking at practice last night. I saw this video. It said there's two type of people. There's batteries, which you are, which I try to be, and there's vacuums.
Mm-hmm.
The vacuums are going to suck the energy out of you,
Yeah.
and the batteries are going to charge you up. I mean, what were his practices like? Like if that was where the whole culture was, like. How was the practice room? It was he probably got before you answer that, he probably got the right people in the room and maybe the right assistant coaches that the vibe was there. Yep. And it was probably a similar history in there that you kind of just knew, like Brick Memorial, what you're walking into.
Yes, I exactly, Pete. And he really he turned it over to Pollard that year that I was there. Pollard was young and he was running the room, and it was
Joe
tough.
Pollard was at TCNJ?
Yeah, he was there for the first 2 years that I was there.
That's
good.
awesome.
Yeah, no, and he was the guy that was running. But you know what? You walk into a tournament and the people at like 6 a.m. and people are green ice the whole with a Coca-Cola popping it, Coach Ice, and then he'll start running weigh-ins at another school, and he's just the respect that guy had.
Yeah.
Something else, man.
I remember seeing it was NASA, and I think maybe like a president went to NASA and he came in contact with the janitor, and he said, "What do you do here?" And he said, "I'm helping us go to the moon." And it's like everybody just felt appreciated, and even like the lowest of levels, it's like you make them feel appreciated, like everybody buys in.
Yeah, that's the ice effect there.
That's amazing.
That's cool.
Yeah. But a cool story. We would do plate workouts at night when we were doing doubles, and Ice would have his glasses on, and his hair would be like a little mess, and he would be like calling out the next plate workout and be like, "In 20 years, you're going to be paying someone to do this for you. I'm doing it for free." That one always made me laugh.
Wow.
You're going to be paying someone. It's true.
It is true, and he was so right on that. I mean, I've been out here thinking like, dang, man, I'm about to get my own personal fitness thing going on once you start hearing about, and like these wrestling workouts, dude, like literally I love those plate workouts, and like anyone who's trying to get in shape, it doesn't have to be a 45.
No.
But you could do, there's so much you could do.
10.
I went to the Jay Robinson camp, and when I was there, J-Rob, it was my first introduction to the plate workouts, and it would be ride the bus, clean and press, triceps, curls, freaking, you could deadlift those things, like literally put it on your back squats. Like you could do full body workouts.
Yeah.
And then I had a teammate, Brandon McDonough. He was from Iowa. He had a plate in his room. He was a two-time All-American. He would hit the plate workout all the time. Dude, I love that stuff.
Yes.
I know.
Yes. I still do them, the ice workouts in my room.
Yes.
Kids, man.
That's amazing. That's
Same
amazing.
exact workouts he used to do.
Yeah. It sounds like you. Oh, I'm sorry. Have you gone?
No, we were heavy on the sandbags at Jackson. It was
Same
just-
concept.
Same thing.
Same concept, dude. I love that shit. Full
awesome.
body, man.
Yeah.
I got this pull-up bar at the house now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it from Earl Naval Base on Facebook Marketplace.
It's just a door frame.
Doing
ones.
100 a day.
Good for
Yeah,
100
that's
a day
right.
throughout the day. Yeah.
I can tell, Pete. You shut it up. Man.
Yeah.
Hey, we're getting there, man. Just in case Coach Morris gives me a call. He wants somebody who's coming up on 40 to brush the dust off. But no, I think a lot of that for me is really just making sure that like I feel all right mentally. Like I just know that I got to kind of do things to push myself. Like that's what the half marathon was. The full marathon that's going to be coming up at some point by the end of the year might just be at the Reservoir because I just need 26.2. You know, I just need 26.2. I don't need a bib. I don't need no comp. You score results. Just need something to keep
Pin a number
keep
on
going.
your chest. Just go.
Yeah,
For
just
yourself.
go. Just for yourself.
That's it,
Exactly,
man.
man.
That's it.
And I feel like sometimes, like as athletes, wrestlers, you know, we talk a little bit about that like unique void when wrestling season ends or your wrestling career ends. And it's like, okay, now I got all this energy. I was working so hard. I started working hard on the wrong things. I was working hard on the buzz. You know, I was trying to be the most, I was trying to put down the most drinks in the room, you know, the wrong type of stuff that I'm grateful now in my late 30s that I have the self-awareness. But I think that is something that I think a lot of guys kind of fall into where it's like, dude, no, you could still run. Like you could still lift. Train. Yeah, you still train. You still like, you know, try to help the next guy up, try to get involved in some type of wrestling in some capacity.
Yeah.
Because that's a mega void to try to fill on your own.
Absolutely.
And the way the world is now, I mean, there's really nothing but like negative voids to fill it with. You know,
Constant in your face.
100%.
Constant.
Did you have any type of hardships or any type of mental struggles or anything that you kind of gone through that maybe somebody in the audience might be able to relate to? Because you said that this has helped you. We started with the goal of helping one guy. Oh, is that my timer?
Nope, it's me. I'm just resetting this.
Oh, because I set one too. You have anything? That maybe somebody could be listening to that?
So just the approach to things that when the approach to a situation, and that's tough. Maybe something that you're experiencing for the first time, right? And having kids, I think that's one of the toughest transitions I've ever had to make. It's a constant grind. It's 24/7 through the night, through the day, and now still trying to manage this. So it's tough. My kids are high energy and they don't sleep, and now you're managing the practice the next day and managing phone calls, and my wife works very tough, She's overnight, so she's working 12-hour shifts. So when she's at work, I'm full-time dad. Once I get home from work, that adjustment, I didn't deal with it well.
How do you?
I didn't.
You've never done it before either, by the way. So it's not like you're supposed to be some seasoned vet.
Exactly, and it was tough, man. It was a hard transition. And
where were you taking that negative energy out of?
I was unfortunately taking it out, and explosive, and I didn't like how I don't like how I was acting, right? And honestly, it was a phone call with my dad. I was calling him and complaining. And he just, one day, he goes, don't call me and complain anymore.
Fuck yeah.
He was just like, dude, don't call me.
You hear that?
And I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Holy shit. I am that negative energy right now that I'm normally not.
No, that's not your vibe.
That's not me. And it was getting to me, and
sure.
And I try to become more spiritual. Try to find God and read, and listen to more positive people and not make excuses.
Right.
Dude, you complain, you got to live that complaint. You got to live that excuse now. That's what you become. And also just going into situations grateful.
Yes.
I think that's an important thing. Like you go upstairs, for example. You go upstairs frustrated because your kid's up at 2. Guess what? He's going to stay up longer. You go up grateful that you have a healthy son upstairs.
Hey.
He goes back to bed in 20 minutes.
Yeah. Right.
Right, bro? So it's how you approach these situations.
I was going to ask you about the nighttime element with your wife working nights. That's on you.
And on call, I'm on call now.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a you have to have a very strong bond with your partner for that stuff to work, because it takes a freaking army to raise these kids.
Yeah. 100%. How'd you guys meet?
I slid in her DMs, man.
There you go. Hey, listen. Yo, back in the day, you would have had to write her a letter. Took 3 business days to show up to the house.
Slid in the DMs, and she didn't answer me, and I said, "What the heck?" She was like, "Wow, this guy's interesting."
I'm sure you're persistent, though.
I was.
Sure,
I was like, why aren't you answering me?
You know who I am?
Yeah.
She's like, no, I have no idea.
No, I don't actually. I thought you were somebody else.
But blocked your ass.
Yeah, I was like, this creep. But no, then she's like, this guy's kind of interesting. Who does that?
Yeah.
Who follows up again?
Yeah.
And then we've been together about 10 years now.
Nice.
Then she got to see your lightning bolt of positive energy.
Did your worldviews change drastically when you became fathers? Because I remember it was like a year ago, right before my nephew was born. My brothers and I and my dad, we went to a Rutgers match. We went to a bar before or after, and I remember my brother, it was his first kid on the way, and he asked my dad, and he had never really asked him a question like this, and he was like, I forget how he phrased it, but it was along the lines of like, did you start to feel more like primal, like as the baby was coming, your inner protector coming out? And my dad was like, yeah, I guess I never really thought about it, but yeah. No. Have you guys, I mean, you're obviously
wild.
Pretty primal guys as
That's
it is, but
wild.
Did it change your worldview like a ton?
Yeah. I'm a different person.
Same.
But for the better.
Yeah.
These kids have made me such a better person, man. In the short time that they've been here.
Yeah.
I'm so grateful.
Yeah.
Yeah. Not necessarily like the primal aspect. I think like maybe the biggest thing is I was selfish to an extent of it wasn't responsible for anybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like having that immense gratitude, and like I have a hat that says Dad right now. It changed my life. I mean, I told you guys before, I stopped drinking 2 months into Mason being born. Like literally changed my life for the better, to the point that sometimes I wonder how things would look for me. And almost as sad as it sounds, like if I would still be here.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know. I was living life in the fast lane for myself.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know how things would look or how I would keep my tank full.
Yeah.
For myself. without them.
Mm-hmm.
But that's a great question, and you can't lose sight of that even at 2:30 in the morning. And that would be something that would happen to me. The morning would get me so rattled. I would take that energy into the day, and it would take me a few hours to like even calm down from like 2 school drop-offs, screaming kids in the back. And now that I've been at it for 9 years, I'm just like trying to soak it in, man. Just like, I'm not. You ain't breaking me today. You might have broken me in the past. I ain't breaking today.
I'm tough now.
I'm still grateful for you.
I'm cauliflowered up.
Yeah,
right?
I'm
you're
still
ready to
freaking
go.
grateful for you,
That's right.
and like you're still such a blessing. And maybe that you screaming is just what kids your age are supposed to do. Like, well, what's the other side of it? I don't want a quiet ass kid.
Yeah.
That's not saying a word anyway.
Yeah.
It's like, what are they supposed to do? They're not fucking robots.
That's
Yeah.
right.
He's a freaking toddler.
Yeah, give me a little chimpanzee.
Like, what do I expect?
They're primal.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah,
We're
right.
Savages.
training, man. They
Yep.
are dog. Like I hate to say that, but you're a dog. We gotta
Savages.
train you,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah.
They have no etiquette. They don't know what's going on.
Disrespect.
They'll smack you and kiss you within 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
What?
Trying to figure it
Sour
out.
Patch Kids.
Yeah, right.
Demanding shit from you.
Yeah.
I know.
It's crazy, but
Yeah.
it's the best thing. It's why you're here.
Yeah.
That's why you're here.
Yeah.
We've definitely seen a common theme, I feel like, since the podcast for sure, of people reconnecting with their spirituality,
Yeah, we
adopting a mindset of gratitude. And I feel like just nationwide, maybe worldwide, that's been something where the pendulum has kind of swung back the other way within the past couple of years, and it's really encouraging to see.
very
Even
neat.
younger kids, I'm seeing kind of tapping into faith and whatever that may be for them, however
It's
they define
huge.
it.
Talking
It's
about
huge.
our sport, look
Yeah.
at you watch the 10 out of 10 guys that win national titles
Yeah.
are thanking,
Yeah,
giving
Right
it up
there
to
at
him.
Penn
like
State,
exclusively, nothing
know?
else in the post
I know.
post match
You know why?
interview.
The first thing that they say.
right away because
Yeah,
it
they don't want to
frees-
talk about
Carr
anything
a
else.
few years
frees
back.
you.
Yeah.
It
You're
does.
not. It doesn't like
Takes that
this-
pressure off.
The sport identifies you. This sport's a very individual-based success sport, like we talked about. It's selfish, and it allows people to identify who they are. I've seen people when it's over, like we talked about, struggle in life because they don't know who they are without the sport.
Yeah.
So when you have that higher power, this is just another wrestling match.
Yeah.
for them.
Yeah.
And they're having fun.
Yep. And
Yeah, they're
wrestling
free.
Grateful. They're wrestling free, and that's why they're getting interviewed at the end.
That's right.
Yeah, no, you're so right. I tried to navigate life without a strong spiritual connection, and now it's kind of just on my terms. But I've said this in the past. I kind of disconnected from the way I was kind of brought up and whatnot. And a lady at work, when I was really struggling mentally, gave me a book called Two Chairs. It's kind of like a Christian-based two-way street between like you and God. And like Evan and I were talking, like if you're having a rough day, I'm glad that your dad said don't call, because that call, maybe not your dad, but that one call is someone that's got your back. Somebody just fucking flipped you off in the car or someone that pissed you off. You call one of your boys. He loves you, dude. He's got your back. He's ready to go fight that guy. Now you just elevated that entire situation.
Might not be the
Now-
right phone call.
Yeah, it might not
Yeah.
be the right phone call. And the only ones we're dialing are the ones that we know are going to tell us what we want to hear.
it.
And like the answers that we get from God, sometimes we need to kind of just talk it out. We don't need a response.
Yeah, right.
And I think that's what your dad was looking for. Like, dude, figure it out, bro.
Stop.
I ain't
Yeah,
fucking.
That's right.
Yeah,
And
it's
I
like,
needed
you know
it.
the
Yeah.
answer.
I needed it.
Yeah.
at that
And he's a
moment.
battery.
It is. I didn't need someone to say, "Oh,
Yeah, it's
I
okay,
needed that,"
honey.
and that's
Yeah.
what a lot
Right.
of people do nowadays. Your feelings and
Validate too much.
Thank
Yeah.
God I have that guy, because
Yeah.
that's the one that's kept me in check.
That's
Yeah.
so tremendous.
Yeah, man.
So tremendous. Anybody else got anything else?
I'm
We
cool.
got a lot of good
yeah,
stuff
this was
cooking here.
Yeah,
This is awesome.
this
Yeah,
was good,
Billy
man.
would have liked this one, bro.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to watch next week.
Real quick, that
Yeah.
Billy's, when I was dealing with that message when he was talking about the storm, and I'm that type of guy too, one way or the other, extreme. When I'm real positive, everything's firing, going
Right.
good. When it goes bad, I could go, and I think, like he said, it's gonna rain forever. That resonated with me with that what Billy said, and it was
So
during
true.
that, just find that one ray of light and keep going.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's so true. This morning I said out loud, sun is shining, birds are chirping. I've been thanking God, and this kind of out loud conversation with probably sounds crazy to my neighbors because I'm just not talking to anybody, but it's out loud. But I pretty much said, like, I'm soaking in all this sunshine, like the birds are chirping, the sky is beautiful, but like thank you for all those storms that led up to today to make me appreciate this sun. If it was sunny every single day and it never rained,
You just have a desert.
it's just another day.
That's right.
You know, but now we're out of like the winter woes. Thank God wrestling season's during winter, but I think a lot of people struggle mentally during the winter time. It's dark, it's cold, it's freaking windy, it's brutal, no sunlight, where it's like, hey man, it's exactly to Billy's point. It's like, hey, thank you for the storms too.
That's right.
Because without the rain, these trees wouldn't grow. The flowers would be blooming right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's good shit, man.
Oh, man.
All right. That's
Good
it.
stuff.
It's a wrap. Billy usually says his line. What you got?
Yeah, we'll land this plane. Thank you guys for tuning in. Subscribe, click the links. If you have any questions, submit them in the link below on YouTube, in the link in the bio. You can submit an anonymous email. Pete and Billy will answer it in the coming weeks. Thanks to Coach for coming through. And
Guys, that was great.
That's awesome.
we'll see you next time.
Good stuff.
Awesome.
Good
Yeah,
stuff.
that was sick.